Hello everyone, welcome to my channel and today we are going to discuss about depth perception. Depth perception. In psychology, depth perception means it is our visual ability to perceive the world in three dimensions and accurately judge the distance of the object. Something can be near to us and something can be far to us. If somebody throws stone towards us, what do? We block ourselves, right? Or we catch that stone, or we will try to defense from it. But what happens is how we are able to know that because we have understood about the perception, its speed and its depth. So your in psychology, depth perception is visual ability to perceive the world in three dimensions and accurately judge the distance of the object. But what happens while the images that hits our retinas are two-dimensional? That means one dimension is missing. So what does our brain do? It uses a variety of cues to reconstruct the missing dimension of depth. So these cues are generally categorized into two types. They are binocular and monocular. Binocular means it requires two eyes and monocular means it requires only one eye to visualize or perceive the world. Firstly, let us talk about binocular cues. These cues provide the most accurate depth information, especially for the objects that are close to us. We need to talk about the retinal disparity because there is a space between our eyes. As our eyes are about 2.5 inches apart, each eye sees a slightly different image. So, what does our brain do? It compares two images and the greater difference, that is disparity between them, the closer the object must be. Let us try one experiment. That is, firstly, you need to hold a finger close to your nose and alternate closing each eye. What will happen? The finger will seem to jump significantly. Now you need to repeat that same process and do it with a distant object. The jump is barely noticeable. So please notice me. I will show you how to do this experiment. Firstly, take any finger. I choose my thumb finger. What I need to do is like as you see in the screen also, you just hold a finger close to your nose, right? Now what you have to do, you need to alternately close each eye. That means now and see the finger. You will feel like that finger is jumping. But if we try this experiment with the object which is very far, the jump is barely noticeable. So we discuss here about the convergence. This is a physical cue from the muscle in our eyes. As an object moves closer, our eyes must turn inward to stay focused on it. The brain senses this muscle tension to gauge distance and we are able to notice the object. Next is monocular cues, that is one-eyed cues. So these cues allow us to perceive the depth even if we close one eye. We are able to see this with our one eye also. They are often called pictorial cues because artists use them to create the illusion of depth on a flat canvas. Now, firstly, let us talk about the linear perspective. So, parallel lines like railroads track appear to converge as they recede into the distance. Let's see the image to understand. In linear perspective, as you can see, suppose if we look from here, this image seems vanishing point. It is because of the linear perspective. Next is relative size. So, if two objects are similar in size, the one that cast is smaller, the retinal image is perceived as being farther away. If we talk about the size of football, they are similar. Still, we feel like this is a small one. Why is this happening? As it is farther, our retinal image is creating that it might be smaller one. Next is interposition. If one object partially blocks our view of another, we perceive that obscuring object as being closer. Why is this happening? Because if the object partially blocks our view from other, definitely we feel like the object is closer, that's why it's blocking. But if it's farther, we can see like if you block, let's look at the image. As you can see, here is the image, right? So why we feel like this is blocked? Because definitely it is because of the interposition. That means it is blocking, it's closer to the object. But if it was farther, if this circle was farther, it will not block, right? So this is the concept about the interposition. Next is texture gradient. Object close to us have a distinct coarse texture while distant object appear smoother and less detailed. So here in texture gradient, what we feel is objects which are close to us, we are able to see them. It is distinct, right? We can see the coarse texture. But if it's in distant, the object is appears smoother and less detailed. I mean to say, you just see your wall. If you look it closely, you will find the distinct coarse texture. But if you see from distant, what happens? You will start to see you will see it is very smooth and less detailed. So suppose this is the wall, this is the wall. If you go and look closely, you will feel like the coarse texture. But if you see from far, you will feel like it is a smooth one. Next is aerial perspective. Distant objects appear hazier, blurrier, or more blue tinted due to dust and moisture in the atmosphere. So when we see this image, yes, we can see this kind of blue texture, which is blue tinted texture. So it's in atmosphere. It can be because of the molecules, air molecules, moisture present in the atmosphere, which is the aerial perspective. Next one is light and shadow. Shadows provide info about an object's 3D space and its position relative to a light source. So as you can see, so usually what we know that if sun is rising from here or the sun rays are coming from here, then definitely this is the object and its shadow is casted over here. Next is motion-based cues, and it is totally different from the movement of our uh, binocular or monocular cues. It is based on motion. So these cues rely on movement to help us understand the space. So first one is motion parallax. That is when you are moving. Example in a car. Imagine you are sitting in a car and it is moving. So object closer to you appear to move very quickly in the opposite direction, while distant objects like mountains appear to move slowly or stay still. So, what is happening here? When we are sitting in a car and we are driving, our car is moving, we see the objects which are closer to us. They are moving very quickly in the opposite direction, while distant object which are far from us, like mountains, they appear to move slowly or stay still. Next one is deletion or accretion. So deletion means deleting, accretion means increasing. So as you move Firstly, we are talking about the moment as you move object in the foreground cover, it is deleted. So look at this image. You are looking at this image, right? But if you move slightly, what happens? You feel like the first one is closing to the next one, right? So it is deletion. But what happens again you saw the moment, you feel like now the image has increased. So that is the accretion object in the background. So this is the concept about motion parallax and deletion and accretion. So why it is important? Why depth perception is important? Because it is very basic for our survival and daily tasks. It's important because of the safety, because if we don't judge the speed and distance of an oncoming car, what happens? Accident might occur. Like children, they are unable to judge the speed, but adults, they are easily able to judge the speed, right? So their perception comes within the experience and it's very necessary for the basic survival for safety. And next is motor skills like catching a ball or reaching for a cup of coffee. So if my coffee is 10-meter far from me, and if I go till 8-meter or 7-meter, I will not be able to catch that coffee, right? Or if I go to 13-meter, 15-meter, I won't be able to catch that coffee. I need to go exactly on that 10-meter space, and it's very important for our basic survival. So for motor skills, it's very important. Next is navigation, walking through a crowded room without bumping into the furniture. So it's about the depth perception, that where the sofa is, where the TV is, where the walking space is. So it's important for safety, motor skills, and navigation. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that I'm able to tell more about the depth perception. And if you are watching my channel regularly, I have just a small request. Please subscribe to the channel. And if you like this video, like and share the video. Thank you so much. And for references, you can go through the written references.